So, welcome to this webinar. This is a word cloud that we made using the most common problems that people in the group, the gut microbiome group that you all are on, have posted. These are the problems that we heard from a majority of people pan India. This is from the survey that we did. And if you take a close look at this, what is the most common thing you see? Constipation, right? Constipation, bloating, gut health. Now the word cloud takes each word separately. So, but we can see that gut health is something that we are seeing here. Gas, fatigue, then there's diabetes, there's even headache, digestive issues, mental health, depression, fatigue, again, stomach complaints, autoimmune disease. You can even see hemoglobin here, stress. So there are all of these issues that we are seeing here, and these are from you. These are the problems that all of you have listed. So it's a very realistic thing that we are looking at. These are the common problems that we are seeing in our group of people. So let us go back to what we are experiencing here. These problems might seem very unrelated, but when we are trying to build a house, it is very important to build a solid foundation. We spend a lot of months or even a year on first building the foundation. Then we think about building the house. But when it comes to our own health, do we think about the foundation? It's shaky, it's rotting. How do you think the house is going to last very long? How do you think the house is going to look very beautiful? How do you think the house will be enjoyable? So if we want a beautiful, enjoyable, clean, sturdy house, we absolutely need to start working on our foundation right now. So let us look at some of the success stories of people who we worked with. There's a lady who came to us with a lot of digestive issues, IBS to be more precise. So she healed her 20 years of digestive issues in just 3 months. She's able to eat whatever she wants now, which was not the case earlier for the past 20 years. This gentleman here, senior citizen, he stopped depending on the cholesterol medication that he was taking for 16 long years just by focusing on gut health. Then there was a 45-year-old lady who came to us with a lot of chronic conditions, including prediabetes. Just by balancing her gut health, she was able to reverse not just prediabetes, but everything else that she was complaining of. So if we go to the first story, we are talking about, so all the names and pictures have been anonymized and changed. The story of Tara is really amazing. And you know what? It gives us so much satisfaction. When we hear from these that, I was not able to eat anything for 20 years. I constantly had to sit at home. I could not go out at all. I couldn't socialize. I couldn't work. I was dealing with so much pain, unpredictable bowel movements, and everything else that comes with IBS. When you hear something like that, and when you're able to help somebody like her, after 20 years of several trips to many, many doctors, several lab tests, and then you suddenly transform that person's life, can you even imagine the kind of satisfaction, the joy that we feel, not just what she feels? So this actually goes to show how small targeted changes to gut health can lead to long-lasting changes from even things like IBS, where doctors give up. Imagine being free from all the pain, embarrassment, and constant planning. What does this mean to you? When we saw the word cloud, you must have noticed that digestive disorders or everything else that is related to gut health are so common. Even when people are not writing actively about it, even if you have not written about it, there is something going on in everybody's life. There is some health issue. It impacts stress levels, mood, overall quality of life. So this case study actually shows how focusing on gut health can break this cycle of physical discomfort, emotional strain, and give a fresh start. The second story about this elderly gentleman, Umesh, he was using cholesterol medications for 16 years. He came to us right in the beginning of our program. In just 90 days, this was without medications. He was able to reverse his condition using optimized gut health. When he optimized gut health with our help, his heart health improved significantly. He was able to stop his medications completely. Because cholesterol is about how the gut processes what we eat. This is about how the gut processes everything that leads to high cholesterol. When we are working on the gut and the liver work together to process cholesterol. When the gut is out of balance, that is when cholesterol levels rise. Did you know that high cholesterol is caused not by consuming high fat diet? That is not the only reason. Majority of the cases of high cholesterol are because of overconsumption of junk food, of sugar, of refined flour. Did you know that sugar is converted to cholesterol when it is in excess? Is it something that you have thought? So this shows how gut health directly impacts our heart health, how we can lower it naturally without using medications. The third story we want to share with you is about Maya, who came to us with a lot of chronic conditions. She was just diagnosed with prediabetes. She was overweight. She wanted to just lose weight. She was not even thinking about reversing anything at that point, because reversal is something that people have given up on. So when she came to us, she not only managed to lose 7 kilos in 8 weeks without extreme dieting, she was also able to reverse everything else that she had: prediabetes, hypertension, chronic lower back pain, plantar fasciitis, everything within 12 weeks. This is not a life sentence. This just proves that when you address the root cause of it, it can help you stabilize blood sugar, it can help promote weight loss, it can even help reverse chronic diseases that everybody gives up on. So this is what we actually work on. What does diabetes mean? What does chronic back pain mean? What does plantar fasciitis mean? Your body is trying to tell you that something is wrong with the gut. When we go back to fixing gut health, the body starts responding in really magical ways. This shows how very simple tweaks to gut health can give back control over our overall health. So when you go through this webinar, you will be empowered to heal your gut, heal your entire life. You understand the exact steps we need to rebalance the gut so that we can take control of all of the chronic issues that we have. It doesn't matter what those chronic issues are. It doesn't matter whether they're physical, mental, or emotional. Here we can ditch the confusion of all of the misinformation that we find on social media. There are so many influencers ready to shell out whatever information. And is it scientifically backed? Do you know that what people are sharing, is it scientifically backed? You will be able to prevent chronic diseases before they even start when you focus on your gut, because it is the first line of defense against everything, including all kinds of many forms of even cancer. Even if you have a family history of anything, so you might say that, oh, I have a family history of diabetes, I have a family history of high blood pressure. But have you really thought about it? Is it genetic? Is it something that is acquired? Is it a family history of a poor lifestyle? Is it a family history of sedentary behavior? Is it a family history of a high carb diet? What exactly is it? So you might have already given up on it, saying that, oh, I'm going to get it because, my entire family has it. But here we want to show you that this is not true. As a geneticist, I will tell you that this might not be in your DNA at all. You do not have to give it to your children. You do not have to suffer from it if you just know what is causing it. You will be able to make gut-friendly choices on a daily basis, integrate healing foods, habits, and exercises into your current lifestyle without feeling restricted. You will be able to see the bigger picture of health. What does good health really mean? What are the things that you will be able to achieve when you understand this? What is the gut-brain connection? And how can digestion actually impact what you are doing, mental clarity, energy, and overall well-being? So this is going to empower you to take action, to be confident, to enjoy vibrant health. So this is what we are saying to all of you. Everybody who is here is in the right place. You are either struggling with a chronic condition, you are tired of the trial and error that you have been doing, or you want to prevent any chronic condition because, you are in the 40s to 50s or whatever age range where prevention is very, very, very important. Or you are just curious about what gut health is, what is the connection between gut health and everything else in our life. You might be very busy. So we have simple solutions. We are not asking you to spend hours in the kitchen. We are not asking you to spend hours trying to take care of gut health. This is not about quick fixes, taking medications, or anything else. We just have to understand the science behind what this is so that we can make much more informed, powerful changes. If this sounds like you are in the right place. So I'm now going to urge you to close all the distractions that are around you. Close your email, close the 20 browsers that are open currently, put your phone on silent, ask your children if they are around not to kill themselves for the next 1 hour or so, because your gut health totally deserves this attention. We are coming from years of expertise in gut health, wellness, and we have tried everything that we talk about on ourselves first, on ourselves, on our families, on our friends, everybody around us. Only then we have taken it to the masses. And this is something that we do on a global basis. This has proven results, this has real success stories, actionable solutions, very personalized global approach that is tailored to fit your lifestyle. And we are absolutely not mission driven. If you come to any program of ours, if you come to anything that we are offering, you will see the kind of value we provide in each and everything that we are doing. This is from not just our passion, this is from our obsession of empowering people like you to live much healthier, happier lives when we address the root cause of gut health. So, what other people are saying about our work, if we talk about Tara, Umesh, and Maya, is that they've been struggling with their conditions. They've gone to several very well known doctors. And this is not about whether medicine works or not. Of course, there's a place of medicine, medications in everybody's life. But when we are talking about the power of our body in healing itself, it is way beyond anything that we can imagine. So we have to give it the first opportunity to heal itself. A little bit about me. I'm Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni, as all of you know already. I have a PhD in molecular genetics, a master's in microbiology. So while I've been doing cancer research, I did cancer research for many, many years. I've also studied evolutionary genetics. I've studied developmental genetics. I started from India. I went to the US to do my PhD. Then I moved to Singapore for my first postdoc, then to Qatar. I've been in Qatar for 15 years now, where I worked at Weill Cornell. So in this time when I was working on cancer research, trying to find a cure for cancer, trying to do something very significant to transform people's lives, towards the end of it, about 8 years ago, I started realizing this empty feeling. I was not transforming anybody's life. I was not making any difference. It didn't matter how many publications I had. It did not change anybody's life. But if you ask me now, the satisfaction of people telling me that, yes, you have helped me reverse the chronic condition that I was suffering from for so many years is unbelievable. I also started dabbling in hydroponics. I had my own setup in Doha, Qatar, when I really started focusing on nutrition. I'm also the lead coordinator where I've been working for 4 years on an initiative called Ahar Kranti. This is a pan-India movement for better nutritional awareness and solutions. If you would like to volunteer with it, do let us know. So Sujata Gokhale here, who is one of the co-founders of our company, also is leading the education vertical here. Another thing we added last week, so I was telling you about how many things we add every single week. I am co-author of this book that is being published this week on digestive disorders, gut feelings, a patient's journey to understanding digestive disorders. So I've written it, co-authored it with Dr. Abhay Chopra, who is a world-renowned gastroenterologist who lives in the UK. This is something that we have been doing. If you are interested in knowing more, do let us know in the group or in the chat right now. So our team here is this one. This is the leadership. These are the co-founders. Sujata Gokhale, who is also here with us. She is one of the co-founders who recently moved to India from Qatar, who also has a worldwide global experience. Renuka Kelkar, who currently lives in London, is the third co-founder. And we have our vertical called Microbiome Superhero, which is vertical in our company that provides end-to-end solutions to improve all kinds of health issues, to prevent diseases, allergies, infections, even improve mental health. So this is our presence across 4 continents so far. These are the countries where we have participants from joining us on a regular basis. When we talk about gut health, now I want to say this, that you must have heard this. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What people do there doesn't come out. You can do crazy things in Vegas. But what happens in your gut does not stay there. It travels to everywhere in your body. All organs of our body are impacted by everything that happens in the gut. It is that important. So it is the master key to unlocking true long-lasting wellness. Everything else is secondary. This is why we have to understand what is the meaning of gut health. Why is it the foundation? It is the cornerstone of everything that we are feeling physically, mentally, emotionally. And it is a lot more than just diet and exercise. If you see, there's a chart, I will share that on the group later, that shows how tiny a part diet plays in the entire grand scheme of things in terms of our overall health. So it's not about what we eat, it is most about what our body does with what we eat, how it processes the food, how it absorbs, how it interacts with it. The key to thriving is prioritizing gut health or prioritizing our microbiome, and that is going to transform all aspects of our life. This is why most conventional health care fails, because people approach it ignoring gut health. This leads to very unsustainable results. For example, if somebody has diabetes and that person is taking metformin or something to maintain diabetes, what happens is the root cause is still there. And that is going to make sure that the body gets other kinds of chronic diseases as well. So people suffering from diabetes tend to have some other health conditions as well, because they are not focusing on the root cause of why this thing even started. This is why this is a game changer. This puts the microbiome first. This puts the gut health first. That's why it unlocks wellness like nothing else can do. So if we take a look at what is happening in our body, now this was happening in my body as well. If you see this image of this house, it looks quite disgusting, isn't it? Will you tolerate your house looking like this? Will you ever keep your house like this, where there are insect infestation, where there's fungus growing on the food, where it is very, very dirty, it's unkempt, not cleaned? But how are we allowing this to happen to our gut? This is what is happening in the gut of majority of us. Just because we cannot see it, we do not know, we do not realize that this is how our gut is. But if we want to change it, now if we see that our gut is like that, and we are suffering from all kinds of chronic diseases or allergies or mental health issues or recurrent infections or poor concentration issues, poor memory, low productivity or fatigue, or a combination of these, what does it have to do with each other, right? They seem quite different, but they're all linked to just one thing, which is poor gut health. And this is why we are now bringing in the cleaners. We need to clean this, right? Because the house is getting really dirty. Let's bring in the cleaners to clean it, to make sure that the gut or our house is extremely neatly organized. It is very clean. It is sparkling. Don't you just love a house looking like this? Wouldn't you want your body to be like this? So if you want your gut to be like this, sparkling clean, neatly organized, and amazing, you fall in love with it. It makes you feel happy, amazing all the time. You need to bring back the workers. This is where microbiome, our superhero, comes in. We at Arna Gen Next call our microbiome our superhero, and you'll find out now why we do that. When we talk about us being humans, let us see what humans are according to modern medicine. We have broken down our body into just visible organs. We are treating diseases in pretty much individuality, as if the lungs are just by themselves, or the kidneys are by themselves, or the heart is by itself, without taking a holistic view at who we really are. If we look at ancient practices, it was the entire body, the mind, the environment around it that was considered for any kind of treatment. But now, if we combine the ancient practices and what we know scientifically, we are a combination of not just our own cells, but trillions of invisible microbes that call our body their home. In fact, we live in the microbial world. It is the other way around. Our body lives in a world that is full of germs or microbes. So there are more microbial cells on and inside our body than our own cells. And this is what makes us completely human. So if we think of it, the microbes are our invisible organ. Did you know, right in the chat box, did you know that we had something called an invisible organ, and it was made of tiny microscopic germs or microbes? Why should we know about it? It's invisible, right? And we don't even know about it. The reason we should know about it is because it's an organ that is doing some pretty important jobs. If we talk about our own organs, they are constant, right? We cannot do anything about them. If they stop working, what can we do? Can we change the organs very easily? No. But our microbiome, or this collection of microbes on our body or inside our body, the invisible organ, is variable. They keep coming and going from our environment, from the food that we eat, and it is very much in our control. So if we see, we are not really 100% human. We are also microbial. And we need to take care of those wonderful germs. They are everywhere. They are on our skin also. They form our skin microbiome. We need germs, we need microbes on our skin to keep it healthy, to keep it intact. So if we go to the topic of today, which is gut health, what does that really mean? We are talking about the health of our gut microbiome. The gut microbiome is a collection of all the microbes or germs that are present in the digestive tract. Did you know how much is it? It's 1.5 to 2 kilograms of germs in a healthy adult, just in the digestive tract. And they are doing something very, very important. So I've just mentioned a few. If I start talking about what all they do, how many things they do, how important they are, I can go on for days. But here, just to highlight their importance, I'm showing this. They are required for our mental health. They're required for absorption of minerals. Just think about how many mineral deficiencies people have. So there's magnesium deficiency, which is very common, which causes muscle cramps. Magnesium is a mineral that is very, very important for a lot of our functions, including the function of insulin. So why do we have these deficiencies? So many people are anemic. Iron deficiency, calcium deficiency. We keep taking mineral supplements. Why do we need to keep taking them? That is because we don't have the right kind of germs to absorb them. When we take calcium and we cannot absorb it, what happens is calcification of our arteries. Calcium deposits in our body. Because we cannot absorb the calcium, our body is not using it. So we are not really getting rid of the deficiency. How about resolving it by fixing the germs, by getting the right kind of germs to actually help us absorb? The germs also help us make many of the vitamins that our body requires, like there are many B vitamins. Vitamin K, half of the vitamin K, which is required for blood clotting, is made by these germs. How many people have deficiencies in B vitamins? Many people have, mouth ulcers or other symptoms because of vitamin B12 deficiency. They just feel weak. They have low hemoglobin because of B12 deficiency. Again, many people don't know that their anemia is because of deficiency of B12 and not iron. So this is because they don't have the right kind of germs to make these vitamins. Taking supplements doesn't help. Digestion of food. If I talk about digestion, fiber in our diet is completely digested by just the microbes. The digestion of fiber that happens in our body is done only by the germs in our body. We cannot digest it on our own. We know fiber is so important, right? But just imagine, you have all of these digestive symptoms. So many people have constipation, bloating, and whatever. It doesn't matter how healthy the food is, whatever you are eating. If you don't have the right kind of germs to digest that fiber, that's why all the symptoms are cropping in. That's why there is constipation. That's why there is bloating. That's why there is gas, because there is something else that is going wrong. It is digested improperly or not digested. It also helps us in building muscles, in training our immune system. So if you think of, germs causing disease, well, it's actually the other way around. Majority of these trillions of germs are constantly training our immune system. They're training our immune system to fight off pathogens. When we do not have the right kind of training, when we do not have enough germs, good germs in our body, the training does not happen. This is why people fall sick all the time. This is why they have infections all the time, because they don't have this collection of germs in their body. They also help us make strong bones. They improve heart health and the health of all of our organs. They also help us in secretion of insulin. Aren't these some very important functions? Can you imagine if we don't have just these functions, some of these, all of these? I'm not even talking about the entire repertoire of things that all of these germs do. Why won't people have chronic diseases? This is the reason why majority of us in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or whatever already have a chronic disease, already have poor digestion. Even the kids are obese, kids have chronic disease. There was a 9-year-old who just passed away of heart attack. Kids are stressed all the time. There's poor mental health because none of us have the right kind of germs to do the basic functions that our invisible organ is supposed to do. And what do we do instead? We go about our entire day killing germs because we are programmed to do it by companies who are spending 40 or 60% of their revenue on advertisements, on trying to condition our brains to think that germs are harmful. How many commercials have you seen which tell you that, oh, this product promises to kill 99% or 99.99% of germs, antibacterial, antimicrobial? Even clothes are antibacterial now. So we always sterilize or spray, use disinfectants to clean surfaces of inanimate objects like tables or chairs, just because we think they need to be sterilized, just because our minds are conditioned to do it. Antibiotics are available over the counter in India. So recently I was at a pharmacy and I heard a gentleman just walked past me and he was telling the pharmacist that, oh, भाई साहब मुझे ये देना जरा, मुझे एंटीबायोटिक देना, मेरे बदन में दर्द है. I looked at him in shock. Even the pharmacist was going to give him some antibiotic. And I asked that gentleman that, why are you asking for an antibiotic? You have body ache. So he said, what do you mean? So I said, antibiotics is for bacterial infections only, not for body ache, not for allergies, not for viral, protozoal, fungal, or any other infection. And he was very surprised to hear this. He thought antibiotics are for everything. And then he said, okay, then what should I take? I said, take a painkiller like paracetamol or something. Now, I am not a medical doctor, but the problem is this is available over the counter. 99% of our microbiome is made up of bacteria. When the antibiotic is used, it kills a large part of our microbiome too. What do you think happens to these functions when we take antibiotics? How will all of these functions take place? And we use hand sanitizers. So children are mandated in many schools to carry hand sanitizers with their lunch boxes because they are given just 20 minutes for their lunch. They're not given enough time to wash their hands, leave alone rinsing their mouth or whatever after lunch. They have to clean their hands using hand sanitizers. They're sterilizing their hands constantly. We need germs. Did you know that our hands are the most or the best sources of probiotics? Probiotics actually are transferred from our hands to our gut. Just imagine children doing this all day long. How many of you think that using hand sanitizers is very important and you are obsessed with cleaning your hands all the time? What is the hand soap that you use? Please write in the chat box. What is the brand of hand soap? Is it antibacterial? What are the body washes that you are using? What is the toothpaste that you are using? We have something called an oral microbiome. We require a very high diversity of germs in our mouth to keep us healthy. If we don't have an oral microbiome, we have a huge risk of heart disease, of Parkinson's, of many other very serious chronic diseases. And yet we use antimicrobial toothpaste. People even use alcohol-based mouthwashes to sterilize their mouths. What are we really doing to our microbiome? And there are many other things that we use constantly. How do we know about all of this? What does the microbiome do? We know this from experiments that were done on germ-free mice. So these are called notobiotic mice. These were raised for several generations without any germs in a sterile environment. What scientists have observed is that they have decreased nutrient absorption. They cannot absorb nutrients from even the best food that they're eating. Their intestines do not develop properly. Their organs do not develop properly. They have deficiencies of everything, vitamins, minerals. Their immune system doesn't develop very well because it's not trained. And when they're removed from this environment, they're so sensitive to pathogens or infections that they get infections very, very easily. Another interesting thing I want to tell you here is that there are very specific sets of, the signatures of microbiomes or bacteria, viruses, or whatever in the gut in all kinds of chronic conditions. So what scientists have done, so these were many, many different experiments done all over the world in many different labs. So one experiment is that, for example, if a scientist takes stools from a normal individual and transfers those to the gut of this germ-free mouse, it still remains normal. But if the stools from a diabetic person is taken and transferred to this mouse who was normal before, this mouse now starts developing symptoms of diabetes. The mouse did not have any family history of diabetes. The mouse did not eat anything that will, make it diabetic. It did not eat sugar or did nothing of that sort. Just the transfer of the microbiome from a diabetic person to this mouse makes it diabetic. This is not just for diabetes. It is also true for all of the other chronic conditions that scientists have tested for. Autism, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, many, many, many chronic diseases that we know of. This is why we know the microbiome plays such a very important role in our health. Now just think of this, that you are in control of your microbiome. Wouldn't you like to change your microbiome? Now you tell me that if you think you have a family history of anything, do you really have a family history of that is genetic? Or could it be just a poor lifestyle or poor eating? So these are the top 7 mistakes that we have narrowed down, looking at all of the people that came to us and looking at all of our experiences in the past several years. These are the most common 7 mistakes that sabotage people's health. So do make a list of what is it that you are doing and how you can fix it. We all have the right intention, right? But we have very poor nutrition. How does it even happen? If I ask any of you, I'm sure the answer will be that, oh, if I ask you, do you eat healthy? Everybody will say that, oh, yes, I'm eating a very healthy diet. How is it that we still have chronic diseases? Our intention is right, but what are we actually doing? This is how our meals look like. Either they consist of junk food, which has very, very empty calories that have no nutrition at all. So this is just causing a sugar spike, insulin resistance, or we have so-called healthy meals that we cook at home and we think they should be healthy because they are homemade. They are extremely unbalanced. They're extremely rich in carbohydrates, again, empty calories, extremely poor in all of the other nutrients. When we learn about macro and micronutrients in our curriculum in school, how do we forget about all of that when we go to cook in the kitchen or when we go to consume our food? Does this have enough of fiber, enough protein, enough healthy fats, enough whatever? So this is what I wanted to show you. Does it have a rainbow diet? Why do we need a rainbow diet? Because all of these different colors represent different phytonutrients, different vitamins, different minerals. Our body requires all of them. So for example, if we think of resveratrol, it's a very good, powerful antioxidant. It is present only in the blues and purples. None of the other colors offer this at all. If you want to talk about vitamin A, beta carotene, it is available only in some of these things, like carrots, for example. So when we say that, oh, we should eat our greens, the other colors are also equally important. Does your plate look like this? According to the National Institute of Nutrition or even Harvard or whichever recommendations you see, the plate shows that half of our daily diet should be plant-based. It should include this multiple colors, all color groups. And This is what we should have throughout the day. We should also have 1/4 of lean protein in our diet. Do you have enough protein? Do you have enough diversity of complex carbohydrates that are coming from millets, from lentils, from seeds, from all of the wonderful grains? Do you have enough healthy fats in your diet? Or are you just consuming empty calories? Then fermented foods. Fermentation itself was the basis of how the human brain has evolved. Do you consume fermented foods on a regular basis? I'm not talking about the idli, dosa, and dhokla, where they are cooked after the process of fermentation, which ends up killing all of the live germs. When we say fermented probiotic foods, it means these foods should have live germs in them. So we do not have all of those. And then the other most common thing we do is eat at weird hours. If we think of what our body clock looks like, the gray line here shows our body clock going up and down during the daylight hours and sunset. The red dotted line here shows our metabolic fire, or how capable we are for digesting our food. You can see that this is very much in sync. This is our microbiome representation of it, which again is very capable of helping us digest food, absorb nutrients, make vitamins, absorb minerals, and all of the things they do during this time, not after sunset. It changes after that time. So when we consume food, so initially, if we look at our ancestral way of eating, there was no light after this. So because of that, and because of limited availability of food, food intake was only in this time. And this is what led to proper digestion of the food. Our cells got received everything that they needed. This led to good health, and this was kept the microbiome also very, very healthy. But now what we are doing, because light and food both are available 24/7, even children are ordering from apps at 2 a.m. because they can. Their parents don't care. What happens is, when we end up eating beyond the daylight hours, our microbiome changes. It says, you know what, I'm not going to help you digest food, because it cannot. Our digestive fire is also gone. So the metabolism, body clock, and microbiome start going out of sync as we continue this practice over days, months, years. What do you think happens with this? Food sitting undigested in the digestive tract, it leads to many toxic metabolites that are produced. It leads to an abnormal collection of germs in our gut, and they make many, many other toxic metabolites. So this leads to a lot of diseases, infections, poor health, and even several forms of cancer. Is this something that you are doing? Now, it doesn't matter how healthy the food is, what we are eating, but if we eat it at the wrong time, when our body is not capable of eating, it cannot digest the food. So yesterday I was very late for dinner, and I thought, you know what, I'll skip dinner. Instead of eating at 10 p.m., I am healthy enough to be able to survive without having dinner. I don't want food to be sitting without being digested. So I actually skipped dinner, because I don't believe in not following the body clock. So if you look at the second very common thing that we see, over or under exercising. So you must have seen this very viral going podcast with Prime Minister Modi. So you look at Mr. Kamath, who is the founder of Zerodha. You must have seen that he suffered from a stroke a few months ago. He is extremely, extremely health conscious. So Nikhil Kamath actually exercises a lot in the gym. But the reason he attributed for his stroke was stress. So when people exercise, they don't really make sure they are actually fueling their bodies with the right kind of food. They are in a stress-free environment where they are actually allowing their body to get the benefits of the exercise that they are doing. You will see a lot of people over-exercising or going to the gym for an hour or 2 hours, but they don't care about what they eat. Or they just say that, oh, I need this much protein to fuel muscle growth. Is protein the only thing? Are muscles our only body parts? Do muscles only require protein? What about the other things that are required? So we see this huge imbalance of the kind of nutrients. This is why we see a lot of heart attacks in very young people who are going to the gym, who supposedly look very healthy. So this is something that we have very commonly observed, that people do not exercise according to their body type, according to their age, to their metabolism, to their hormonal status, to their gender, and they do not eat according to that. They do not consider stress in this overall equation. Or the other extreme, which is not to do anything at all, be sedentary. And many people say this, oh, I walk 10,000 steps. And what do you do after that? You sit and work on your computer the whole day. You don't move. So our body as a human, because we are just like other animals, it is meant to move. We thrive when we have movement throughout the day. This kind of sedentary behavior, what does it do? We have a lymphatic system in our body, just like we have the circulatory system where the body pumps blood, the heart pumps blood all over the body to supply oxygen and nutrients. The lymphatic system is cleaning up our body all the time, cleaning up our body from all the toxic chemicals that have accumulated, from all the infections that are potentially threatening us. But there's no pump for the lymphatic system. The only way to get it moving is to move yourself. Movement is the only way where you can get lymphatic drainage, where you can actually clean up the toxic buildup in your body, where you can push your immune cells to take care of all of the pathogens or the invaders or anything else that is in your body. So this is something that we most commonly see. And exercising even for 150 minutes a week, walking 10,000 steps every day is enough. It is good enough. We can do high intensity interval training. We can do very short spurts of exercises, 10 minutes each throughout the days. Doesn't have to be one shot, but it has to be something that is suiting our body type, our metabolism, our health goals. And it has to be fueled with the right kind of nutrition to support it. The third most common thing that we observe is people neglect their mind. When we are talking about any chronic diseases, we hear this from many people who are mental health experts, especially, or people who do biohacking, that when we are talking about any chronic disease, it comes from an emotional baggage that we have not addressed. Our body has this huge emotional baggage sitting that we have not worked on. And the body is trying to tell us by giving physical symptoms, by making itself sick, that, hey, there is something huge that we need to take care of. And we are also chronically stressed all the time. So stress is something that is our response as a survival mechanism. But now we are constantly stressed. That's not how it was for our ancestors. So if we think of our gut, it is our second brain. You might think that what do emotions and the gut have anything to do in common? Well, it has everything to do with it. All of the feelings that we feel come from our gut. Majority of them are influenced by our gut. 90% of our peripheral nervous system is in the gut. And there's a very significant gut-brain axis or a highway called the vagus nerve, which is transmitting information from the gut to the brain and back and forth all the time. This is why it is so important. If we think of primitive animals who do not have a brain, well, they do have a brain, but it's just in a different form. Their gut is their primary brain. So if we think of our second brain, it is our gut, and we need to know about it. So the feelings that we have are actually chemicals. These are different neurotransmitters that make or generate these feelings within us. One example is dopamine. This is our reward hormone. When we do any work like cleaning our room or gardening or something that is very satisfying, dopamine is released in our body. There are other ways that we can use to have this dopamine release, either in the brain or in the gut. In the gut, it is made by the gut microbiome. And it is extremely important. It has many different functions in how we digest our food, how we absorb it, how calm, composed, how satisfied we are in life. What we do instead is when we consume content, when we watch things on, say, Netflix, or we watch reels on Instagram, we think that, oh, I'm watching this, keeping my brain aside. But did you know that only 10% of our brain is conscious brain or conscious thought, which is in our control? 90% is our subconscious brain. That is our reptilian brain. and it takes millions of years to evolve. So it is still in that state, which was, the when humans evolved first. It is still trying to keep us safe. So it needs all of these neurotransmitters. When we watch content, our subconscious mind is taking everything seriously. Whatever fictional things we are watching on Netflix, our subconscious brain is actually taking it seriously. It actually makes us take decisions based on the content that we watch. And when we watch all of this content on digital or whatever media, we are burning up dopamine. When we scroll mindlessly, we are burning up dopamine. We already have less dopamine because of a poor gut microbiome, and we are burning up whatever we have. Think about what is happening in children. They already have started out with a poor gut microbiome, and they are burning up dopamine. People who have poor levels of dopamine, a lot of research has shown they have very high risks of many kinds of chronic diseases, including Parkinson's. Think about that for a moment. This is because of the choices that we are making of what we watch, how we live our life. Nothing is mindless. Everything has some kind of a consequence on our overall health. If we think about our happiness hormone or serotonin, that is also 90% of this is made by our gut microbiome. There are many people who are very rich, who have everything in the world. So there was a very recent podcast that I just watched, Ranveer. He had invited a very famous hypnotherapist, Marissa Peer. So as I was watching that podcast, you would think that Ranveer has like millions of followers. You would be so happy. He actually confessed on that, I am moving to a state where I'm very successful, but my happiness levels are very low. I'm not happy. This is because there are very low levels of serotonin. It doesn't matter how much material wealth we have. There are people who are living on the streets who are very, very happy because they probably have enough serotonin to make them happy. If we think about our calming hormone or gamma aminobutyric acid, this is the brake on our nervous system. When something goes wrong, it tells us, hey, calm down, I'm there for you. It helps us stop being anxious, stop being restless. So if you see people who are just not able to calm down, children who are very restless or anxious all the time, hyper, they probably do not have enough levels of GABA. They cannot help it. They just don't have enough levels of this because of a poor gut microbiome. Do you know what else serotonin does? This is not just our happiness hormone. It also controls how food passes through the digestive tract, how fast food passes through the digestive tract, how the nutrients are absorbed in our gut. When we don't have enough happiness hormone, we cannot even digest our food properly. And you know what happens to this in the evening? The same serotonin is converted to melatonin, our sleep hormone. So in the evening, we start feeling very drowsy. And do you know the interesting thing that melatonin does? It slows down the passage of food in the digestive tract because we are not supposed to eat at that point. So if people are eating at that point in the evening, our digestive tract is not even ready to let it move ahead, leave alone digesting it or absorbing the nutrients. This is what happens when we have all of these symptoms of gastric distress. So this is what causes a lot of gastric issues, including bloating, including all of the digestive issues, IBS, many symptoms of IBS, and whatever we are seeing, constipation. The fifth example is oxytocin, our love hormone or bonding hormone. So this is what makes us feel connected to each other. So when a baby is born, the mother has a huge release of oxytocin. This is why she feels the most bonding towards her newborn baby, who she has never seen before. So this is the bonding hormone that everybody feels. So when I was at a restaurant, again, I give this example all the time. I was at a restaurant with a group of friends. There was a family sitting next to us, a family of parents and teenagers, all four of them looking at their cell phones, not at all talking to each other. Could they be missing the bonding hormone? We see this very, very commonly with all the students that we are seeing, even colleagues at an office. People are together in groups and everybody is looking at their cell phones instead of interacting with each other. We just don't feel that kind of bonding with each other at all because our gut microbiome is not making enough oxytocin. So these are the things that are happening in real life, and we can actually pinpoint the deficiencies of all of these to things that are happening in our own lives or people around us. The fourth most common thing we see is wrong sources of happiness. So we are always we are in this guilt that, oh, I am not doing enough for my children. I am not doing enough for my parents. What can I do? Or I need to reward myself for working so hard on my career goals or anything else. What do? We reward using all of this junk food, processed food, excessive empty calories, excessive trans fats. And these foods are made hyper palatable by the use of a lot of sugar, salt, and trans fats. They are designed to be hyper palatable. So once you eat them, you want to eat more and more and more. This is what we are rewarding children with, and sodas, of course, a bunch of chemicals that cause all kinds of chronic diseases. This is what we are rewarding our children with. This is what we are rewarding ourselves with. Is this a reward or a punishment? If this is going to give rise to chronic diseases very soon, is this a reward or a punishment? And there is no once in a while in this, that you might think that, oh, I just eat it once in a while. When we eat it, it destroys the good bacteria, the good gut microbiome. It actually encourages the growth of bacteria and other microbes that are harmful for us, that are going to destroy our gut microbiome. It enriches those. So, how do you think people will not have chronic diseases after this? Or even the children. And this is something we again see very commonly because we do not have, or we do not want to find time, because we are so distracted with our own digital devices. We give our children all kinds of digital devices, gaming devices, cell phones very early on. They're burning up their dopamine. Their attention span is limited. So there are many experiments done on children where people have taken away their digital devices, and these children are thriving after that. They have amazing scholastic performance. They have amazing behavior. So this also impacts the diversity of the gut microbiome. You might think, what is the correlation between digital devices and the gut microbiome? Well, it turns out it has a very strong correlation. And this is something that we are all commonly doing. The fifth thing is that we say that we use this badge of being very busy. We are very proud of being very busy. We tell everyone that, oh, I'm very busy. We think that it's something to be very proud of. But what are we really trying to achieve here? When we cannot prioritize our own health, nothing else matters. Nobody is too busy to prioritize their own health. When we prioritize our health, we can do a lot more things in a much shorter span, in a much more organized way. So not taking care of our own health and just saying that we are busy is something that we see very, very, very commonly. Oh, I didn't join your program because I was busy. I have joined a lot of programs. We keep working on many different courses. We are constantly learning and we are extremely busy. As you can only imagine, we keep adding new things every single week. How do we have the time to prioritize our health? How do we have the time to focus on everything else? Everybody has the same 24 hours. So instead of giving this badge of honor of being busy, let us be productive. Let us first prioritize our health. When our health is good, it is only then we can reach anywhere in life. Otherwise, we have a shorter life, we have a poor quality of life, we have chronic diseases. Why not live a life that is very enriched, that has a very good quality, that is free of chronic diseases? By just being productive, by just prioritizing our own health and then our families. The sixth very common thing we see is underestimating traditional foods. Now, this is something very amazing. When I give talks about how we need a diverse diet, I gave a talk last year in a college in India, in Mumbai. So when I was talking about a diverse diet, I was telling the students that this was university level students, and they were saying that I said that, oh, we need a high diversity, just like our ancestors did. We lack that kind of a diversity. So one girl came up to me and said, "But ma'am, we have a much better diversity than our ancestors." So I was quite shocked listening to this, and I was like, "What do you mean?" And then I realized what she was saying. So I asked her, do you mean to say that, Chinese, Italian, Mexican, is that the diversity that you're talking about? And she said, yes. So I was telling her that, when you are eating all of these cuisines, you are still eating maida. You are still eating refined flour, because whatever you order or make is made of that same thing. The basic ingredient is the same. You still lack the diversity. By diversity, I mean all of the things that I talked about before, when we have all of the rainbow things, fruits and vegetables that are local and seasonal. So if we look at any state in India or anywhere else in the world, any of the ancient cuisines, they included seasonal local produce. They included a diversity of grains that were available, the lentils, seeds, nuts, fermented foods, the micronutrients in all of the chutneys and all of the kachumbars. So it was impressive. And I always liken this to a joint family. You can correlate this with any joint family. So if you have visited your grandparents when you were a child or been in a joint family, you would have seen the size of the plate, the number of things that were on the plate, and the number of things that are present now are very different. We do not get any of the nutrients. Now, I'm not saying that you go and make all of these things yourselves, but sadly, we have moved to a place where this is what we are eating. How are we going to get any of the nutrients? The traditional foods have been curated over thousands of years, and there's a lot of science behind it. If we talk about any of the traditional practices, the harvest festivals like coming up tomorrow, day after, are amazing for improving gut health. So we should go back to the traditional practices and see what is the scientific basis for this. The reason why we lose out on this is because when people ask questions, when children ask questions that why do we need to eat all of these, we just say that, oh, our parents told us to eat this. We do not go back to any kind of scientific basis or any kind of an explanation. This is why all of this is lost. So we need to really explain it to the next generation, try to find out ourselves and explain it in order to have great gut health. The seventh and the last thing is social connections and community. Now, there are many different points in this. I'm going to say something a bit controversial. You might have heard this that, you are a sum total of the 5 people who you associate with the most. They are the ones influencing you in terms of your health, what your choices are, and everything else. So, who are these 5 people? Make a list of these 5 people. If they are not healthy, how do you think your choices are going to be? If they are sedentary, if they have poor dietary choices, if they do not take care of their health, how do you think they're influencing your choices? It is very important, right? Socializing is amazing. We exchange our microbiome when we are interacting with other people. That's a great way to improve our microbiome. But are the people in your life enabling you to take the steps that you need for better health? Or are they pulling you back? Are you in the company of people who improve your life? Socializing is very important, but you have to be very, very selective. So if you are in a room, we hear this quote many times. If you are the most intelligent person in your room, or if you are the fittest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. We always have to we always have to try to be in the company of people who are better than us. The second thing that we always hear about socializing is that even when I go to other people's houses, is that people are feeding each other very unhealthy food, full of refined carbs, refined flour, fried trans fats, sodas, things that I would never touch. And they say that, oh, if I serve anything healthy, nobody will come to my house again. Is this really true? Can you actually change this paradigm? Can you set positive examples? If I want to invite people to my place, can I set positive examples by serving them something healthy? Now, Sujata has done some really amazing thing. Every time I visit her, I think that, oh my God, how can she serve such healthy, amazing, tasty food all the time, consistently? So I would love to socialize with her. I would love to learn new things from her. So I constantly have that pressure. Oh, if I invite her over, I better make something equally good, healthy, and whatever. So this is something that we commonly see. Yes, socializing is important, but what are we socializing with? Are we ruining our health? Are we actually making all these choices where we destroy our gut health? So these are the things that we see most commonly. So what can we do about it? If we think about the microbiome diversity, our body is like a dirty house right now where we just don't have enough germs to do the task. So the workers are just not there to clean up the house, to build the house. It is like the city of, say, Mumbai, where there are just two people. One is saying, oh, I'll be a doctor, I'll be an engineer. And who is going to build the city? Who is going to grow the food? There aren't enough workers to do all the jobs. And then imagine if you have criminals here, if you have pathogens who are destroying the city, what will happen? This is the case for majority of us. But instead, we have to go to this state where we have a huge variety of germs who are doing all of the functions. That invisible organ has to be rich and diverse. So this is like a city where there are many people living, and they have distributed their work. Somebody is a farmer, there's a lawyer, there's a teacher, there's a grocer, and everything else. So it's a beautifully functioning, well-oiled machine which is running very, very smoothly. This is what a healthy body looks like. It has a high diversity of the microbiome. This leads to good immunity. This leads to good digestion. This leads to good overall health and prevention of everything, all chronic diseases, infections, even cancers. But majority of us are in this state where we have a very low microbiome diversity because of all the things that we do. We have poor immunity, and this leads to all the diseases that we know of. What can we do about it? Well, it's very simple. We need more germs in our lives. We need more numbers of germs, more types of germs. So if we talk about our microbiome, now you can type in the chat box. Did you know that germs don't just cause disease? Did you think they cause disease? They're actually our protective armor against all kinds of diseases. They're protecting us all the time. If we think about what we can do to improve our microbiome, it is very, very basic and very simple. Outdoor activities, because we are sitting in sterile environments all the time. If we indulge in outdoor activities every single day is ideal. Do some gardening, walk in a park, walk barefoot if you can. This improves the diversity of the microbiome because we're getting them from our environment. Eating a diverse diet, including the rainbow, is amazing because we are not just feeding ourselves, we are feeding the microbiome as well. Doing proper breathing. Now, I am also learning a lot all the time. And it is very important, not just oxygen, the amount of carbon dioxide, the amount of nitric oxide that we get. The proper type of breathing is very, very important. This improves the diversity of the microbiome. Meditation has been shown scientifically to improve the diversity of the microbiome. Socializing. Now, meditation doesn't have to be very complicated. Even short meditations for 5 minutes are good enough. It helps us calm down. Socializing, as I said, is extremely important. Hydration according to your requirement. So when we feel hungry, when we feel cravings of very unhealthy foods, our body is actually telling us to drink water. It needs hydration at that time. That is the most likely cause. So try drinking water the next time you feel hungry, which is not your meal time. Fermented foods, I already talked about the foods that have live microbes, like fermented ambali, like kanji in winter, like even overnight fermented rice, the pickles that are very common in India. Consuming fiber rich foods. Now, fiber doesn't mean fruits and vegetables. They do not have that much fiber. These are the grains, lentils, cereals, nuts, and seeds that are the fiber rich foods. Exercising 150 minutes every week. Prioritizing your sleep is also very, very important. This is the time when all the memories are reorganized, our brain is cleaned, and our body goes through something called the migratory motor complex, or a step of cleaning for at least 12 hours. Only then we can digest our food properly. So when we fix everything related to gut health, we can improve all 8 dimensions of wellness. So it includes even financial wellness. We take much better decisions when we fix our gut health. So what can we do about it? There are many things we can do. One of them is, if you are suffering from any kind of chronic disease, why do you have the chronic disease? So microbiome testing is like a snapshot of what is happening in the gut. It is sequencing of all of the organisms, majority of the microbes that are present in the gut. So this test actually gives an idea as to what is happening in the gut. These are some examples. Now this lady came to us. She was just curious, very healthy. She had a healthy lifestyle. She was just curious. She just did the testing to figure out. Now you might see that her diversity score is not that great, even though it was a very healthy lifestyle, because she lacked the diversity in her diet. So this is where she was at, and she did everything to fix her diet to make it even more diverse. The thing we noticed here is that she had infections. She had no symptoms, but she had these infections that were just waiting to cause problems. Helicobacter pylori, as many of you already know, is linked to gastric cancers. So she found out very early. She was able to take action based on this report. This is another very interesting example. Now, you might notice that the diversity score is higher, but this individual came to us with two autoimmune diseases. And what we saw, this is a probiotic bacterium. So this is a very important bacterium that is required. But do you see how much of our microbiome is made up of only this? Prevotella copri is a required microorganism or a bacterium. But 83% of our microbiome was just Prevotella. So how do you think the other microbes might be faring? It is very skewed, right? So when we were able to balance this, that is the time when the microbiome really becomes capable of healing itself or healing the body. And we see this in a lot of different conditions, that Prevotella copri is very high and it is very strongly linked to inflammation, which is the root cause of many chronic diseases. So this is a person who came to us, Tara, who came to us for IBS. Now you might see that her score is in minus, it's negative initially in the testing. So after that, after we saw what was missing, so these all of these foundational bacteria that have to be there in everybody's gut were missing. This is why we say that we should not take probiotics without knowing which probiotics to take, because if you see this, Prevotella is required, but when it becomes too much, it actually starts causing problems in our body. So now we know what are the things that were missing. We were able to give her this tailored probiotics, only the strains that she was missing. We also found one more thing, that she had an infection. Now, Giardia is a very common known pathogen, but in the 20 years where she did all kinds of testing, nobody was able to figure out that she had this infection. So when we figured out during the microbiome testing, she was able to get rid of it with medications, because this requires medications. I'm not going to say that this doesn't. And then taking the probiotics, taking action actually helped her reverse her IBS completely. So these are the limitations of conventional lab testing, that it cannot identify the causes of these chronic diseases. It misses the microbial imbalances. It misses specific pathogens like this, because unless you are looking for something, you cannot detect it. It does not detect the root cause of inflammation, and it lacks individual specific data on all kinds of things that you are looking at. So now when you go back to seeing what gut health really means, it is a lot more powerful than you think. And you can see from this presentation how you can correlate it to your life. How is your mood? How is your energy level? How is your skin? How is your digestion? Do you have any chronic diseases? It is the command center for everything related to what is happening in our life. So we really need to unlock this. And this is not just about diet, it is about the entire lifestyle. It is about our mental baggage as well. It goes way beyond what we eat. It is integrating everyday habits that support the microbiome. The microbiome health objection is such that you have never heard of the microbiome. You might think that, oh, why should I believe in what you are saying? But this is without medications. Unless people have specific infections, which is very rare, you don't need to take any medications. You don't need to have any extreme diets. We are just asking you to eat more kinds of things. This is a very sustainable thing. It is not for any ultra health conscious person. It is for everybody. Understanding what you know right now, how do you think your life will change when you improve your gut health? It is not about improving digestion. When you have more energy, when you have a better immune system, when you say that, oh, I want to go to this Kumbh Mela, but my immunity is so poor, I'm very afraid of going to the Mahakumbh because I might get infections. How about if you don't have to say that? You can very proudly say that, oh, I have such good immunity that I can go and I'm confident that I'll be okay. What would change in your world? What would change it if you had lower stress levels, better mood, reduced anxiety, better health outcomes with just a sustainable lifestyle? So I talked about Tara, right? Before she was struggling so much. Then she did the microbiome test. In 3 months, she was already a different person. When we talked about Umesh, who had high cholesterol, he went into our Shatayushi program, which is without even the testing. He did not even have to do the testing. This is after that. In 3 months, he was able to completely reverse it, just using sustainable changes in his lifestyle. For pre-diabetes also, it was exactly the same. Just in our program, everything else was reversed for Maya. And this is me. This picture does not even capture what I had. At one point, I had 26 large cystic acne full on my face and neck. And this was before cell phone, but this is even in my 40s. I had huge cystic acne. When I started focusing on gut health, so I was already focusing on it, but this is very interesting that, in our team, we have a nutritionist, and I was telling her that, I still have this cystic acne. And she asked me, how long do you take to finish your meals? How long do you give for your meals? So I said 5 minutes. And she told me that this is why you are not even starting digestion. It doesn't matter how healthy your food is. Digestion is not even starting if the bolus does not form in the mouth. Your microbiome, your enzymes, everything has to interact with it. The food has to be processed. It has to be chewed enough. We hear that chew your food 32 times. When I started doing this is 3 months later, my skin completely cleared up. I had used all kinds of medications, over the counter, prescription, topical, everything else before it. It is only when I started chewing on my food that my skin cleared. Can you even believe that? I had much better skin health, much better hair health. My hair stopped falling after that. And I was just talking to somebody last week, one of the participants, who asked me, is it possible to reverse, to get rid of migraine? And it was at that point that I realized that even my migraine was gone when I started focusing on gut health. I had the aura migraine, and I could not step outside in Doha without wearing sunglasses. I have stopped wearing sunglasses completely. In the past 15 years, I've used it. And in the past year and a half, I am completely free to roam around as I want without sunglasses. So, what are the challenges in your daily life? How would things change for you if you are much more resilient? If you could change your health, if your health was optimized, what opportunities or goals would you be taking? Would your daily routine, how would it be productively transformed? So, when you master gut health, you can master how to control your energy, how to control your focus, and resilience automatically follows. So, this is the game changer. Once you know what gut health is, once you know what the microbiome is, you can improve everything else in your life. So, what would it mean for you to have a personalized wellness plan based on your own unique microbiome insights, just like Tara, Umesh, Maya, and me, and many, many others who have been here? You are here because you are tired of whatever is happening in your life, because you are drained, you are not even motivated. Many people who are on the group are not even motivated to come here and join us in the webinar. If you think you have learned anything new, take a screenshot, post it on your social media, invite other people to join. If you think we are changing how you think about chronic diseases, about quality of life, post about us on your social media. Let us know what you think. And we improve on what we do all the time. So this is by addressing your gut health. So you have two choices. That's the great news. The first option is you have learned so much today. You can do your trial and error. You might be wishing you had done better next year. It's the beginning of the year. Or the option B is to fast track your results by joining us, by mastering what gut health means, by mastering everything else to a healthier and more energized you. One thing for sure you must do, whichever way you choose, is to declare that you commit to using science backed insights and ancient traditional practices. to transform your health, your energy, your daily life, that you are going to prioritize your health before anything else. Before we even complete this webinar, make this declaration to yourself. So let me quickly show you what you can do. Now, last time when I presented this, I said patent pending. We have the Shatayushi program, which is a 360 degrees total transformation program, which is completely free of medication. There are no medications or supplements involved. This has a personalized diet plan, tailored exercise, mindfulness practices, meditations that are different for different weeks of the 3-month program. There's a gut reset, healthy habit formation, sustainable solutions that you can take throughout your life. And this changes not just you, but your entire family when you start following these healthy habits. I am very proud to say that we have received the patent 2 days ago. We had applied for a patent last time when I presented, it was pending, and now we have the patent. So this is the program you would be joining. It is a fully customized 12-week program to reverse chronic diseases, to work on all the chronic diseases that you might be suffering from or prevent these. If you want to do the microbiome test, if you want to know what is right, so some of you need microbiome testing, some can be in the program. It really depends on what is going on with your health, or you can do both. Many of the people who attended the webinar before want to go for both. So this is again providing a lot of insights into what is happening with your health and then addressing it in a very tailored way. This comprehensive testing includes not just what microbes are present in your gut, but what are the probiotic strains that are missing. What is it that you need to do in terms of a personalized diet plan for 3 months, which has a phase-wise diet plan where the first one is a gut reset, the second one is for replenishing the gut, and the third one is for making it sustainable so that you can add many more types of things. We also tell you which probiotics are required by you, whether you require any probiotics or not, whether they can come from foods or whether you need supplements. So these are the things that happen. It also tells you your risk of chronic diseases, your neurotransmitter levels, your vitamin levels, and antibiotic resistance. It is surprising that we see antibiotic resistance in many, many people. It's very common. It's very shocking, actually. So this is using award-winning patented methodology. We have this patented program. We have this award-winning microbiome testing. So whatever you choose, we really want you to succeed. We really want you to have much better health. The bonus with this is now, if you have attended the webinar, do post in the group or do get in touch with one of us for a free 15-minute consultation to figure out what you can do with your health. There's a 7-day detox plan, which we share. There are meditations that we share for participants who are attending this webinar. Do get in touch with us for these bonuses. For the microbiome testing, if you decide to do it within 24 hours of this webinar, you will also have a 500 rupees off. You can get in touch for the code, for the discount code. So if you want to join our Shatayushi Total Transformation Program or gut microbiome testing or both, these are the QR codes. You can take a picture of this, or you can go to our website, www.microbiomesuperhero.com. I will share it on the group again, what the website is. Our social media is very, very, very important. Do follow us on our social media. Here we have amazing podcasts and short videos on our Microbiome Superhero YouTube channel. And these are very different insights into everything related to gut health. These are just 2 examples, how 90% of cancers are not genetic, they are preventable. How you might be diabetic but not knowing about it. So we bring very interesting speakers all the time, or we do in-house podcasts. These are our other social media handles, which of course we highly recommend. So with that, I would like to end the presentation. And if you have any questions, we would definitely love to hear from all of you. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm going to allow people to unmute themselves. Now you can ask questions.
Hi, Rashmi.
Hello. Hi, Manisha. Yes,
Manisha
yes.
here.
Yes, Manisha, how are you?
So I just need to know what is exactly the microbiome testing means. What you do exactly You take sample or something
Okay,
from
so
body.
very good question. So because the presentation itself was very long, I didn't totally elaborate on it. But microbiome testing is a stool test. It just takes a stool sample and it does all the sequencing. Now this is available. We are offering it in India and UK. So what happens when you decide to do microbiome testing is that you register on the website, you fill a form where you provide the address and whatever is required, basic information about what kind of conditions you have, what medications you are taking, and the kit is shipped to your address wherever you are in India or UK. This is all included in the package. It is shipped to your address. Then when you collect the sample, you call the courier service, they will take it back, they will do the sequencing, and when the sequencing is done, we give this very long report, which is an exhaustive 40 something page report that has the entire thing about the diversity that I showed, about the microbes that are present, the probiotics that are missing, the whether you have infections or not, whether you have antibiotic resistance or not, how are your neurotransmitter levels. So neurotransmitters now tell us what you should be looking at, whether you have inflammation in your body. There are some markers of inflammation also in it, and it costs 8,000 rupees. Now you might think 8,000 is too much, but just think about how much lab tests cost. It is much cheaper and it gives a lot more information than any lab test can possibly give you. It also includes, yes, INR, 8,000 INR if you're doing it in India. And it also includes a consultation with me where I explain what the report is like, what are the action items you need to take based on your report. It also includes a free diet plan based on your microbiome. It will give you in a phase wise manner what you need to do in the first 2 weeks, the next 8 weeks, and the 2 weeks after that. It also includes a probiotic recommendation. So, based on your probiotics that are missing, we will be able to tell you which probiotic supplements or foods you need to take if required at all. If you have any infections, we will tell you that this infection needs probably antibiotics or something. You need to see a doctor, or we have a doctor who you can consult. So these are the things that happen. All of this is included in the report in the 8,000 rupees. Additionally, when you have to buy the probiotics, they are separate. If you have to do any kind of treatment, that is separate. It doesn't matter even if everyday stools are different. It still captures the representative microbiome. It doesn't matter when you collect it. In case you are taking antibiotics, then we would ask you to wait for at least a week, or you would get in touch with us if you are on medication like antibiotics or antifungals or antiprotozoals or antiparasitic. Then you need to get in touch with us to tell us that you are on these medications. Then we will tell you when to do the test or when to collect the sample. Otherwise, you can collect it anytime. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And this is also very important. Now, you might be thinking that this is only for digestive disorders. No, it is for everything else also. Even if we do this for children who are autistic, who have ADHD, who have who are dealing with academic performance, who want to improve their skin or hair, or people who are dealing with weight gain issues, it is for everything. It is not just for digestive issues. Or you might think that, oh, I don't have any gastric symptoms. Well, if you have any other symptoms, do talk to us about the microbiome testing, and we can tell you whether you require it or not. If you don't require it, we are not going to recommend it. There are other things also we offer. We have a wonderful dietitian. So if you want just a nutrition consultation, we have a very wonderful nutritionist. You can take consultations with her for a personalized diet plan. We have a wonderful Ayurveda expert. If you want only that, we also have consultations with her if you are comfortable using Ayurveda. That is something that is optional. You can take it. Even the Shatayushi program has the option of adding Ayurveda component in it if you want. We do not insist on it. The patent that we have received is for the holistic program. So you can take it with or without the Ayurveda component. It's something that's an add-on. So those are the very different options that we have. For people who want to learn about sorry, Manisha.
So in this microbe test, you also do the H. pylori test also?
If H. pylori is present in significant amounts, we will see that. Because H. pylori is something that if it is there, we will definitely see it. So just like we observed in this person, so that is something that is also a part. We see things that are very surprising in the microbiome testing. And there is a very freaky story I want to tell all of you. I met somebody after many, many years, without naming who this was and in what circumstances. I met this person, a friend of mine, after many years. And she started telling me the strangest things. We were talking about health issues. We were talking about the health of our mother-in-law. She had IBS and things like that. We were talking about something unrelated. So this friend ended up telling me about the doctor noticing something about toxoplasma. There's a germ called toxoplasma many years ago in her throat nodules. So there was a reference again of toxoplasma after many years. She said that, again, I went to the doctor for something, thyroid antibodies, and this endocrinologist told me that, oh, this is related to toxoplasma. So I asked her that, did you do the test for toxoplasma? And she said, no, nobody asked me to do it. So guess what? Toxoplasma is a known pathogen for causing a lot of emotional issues. It can cause delusions, it can cause psychiatric effects, it can cause even schizophrenia. It can cause a lot of hallucinations and things like that. So I told her, did you know that it causes all of these symptoms? Very strangely, she said that I have been suffering from all of these delusional issues, hallucinations for several years. So I said, go and test yourself right now. Go and do the toxoplasma test. She tested positive for it. It is a known microbe that modulates our thinking, our choices, and everything that happens to us. It is known, but none of the doctors she encountered in the past several years asked her to test for that. When she tested positive, she realized that that was the cause of all of her psychosis, all of the delusions she was having. She immediately started taking treatment. We are not medical doctors. I come from a field of microbiology, I come from a field of genetics. We are looking at health from a very different angle. We see things that doctors are obviously missing out on for some reason. She was taking treatment from a psychiatrist, and none of these people realized that this could be the reason why she had all of these delusions and things going on for several years. She was on medications. Now you tell me, what should I think? There's a place for medicine, but unfortunately, there are many things that even doctors are missing out on. They are not learning about nutrition. They are not learning about the microbiome. They are not learning about gut health. They are not learning about food, sunlight, air, water, and basic things, exercise, all of these as medicine. How are they going to offer it to anybody? This is what makes us different, that we look at disease, we look at wellness. We are talking about wellness. We are not talking about any disease. We are just focusing on improving the root of everything, which is the gut. That is the epicenter of all of the diseases, all of the emotions, and everything, all of the distress that we have. That's why we are different. This is why we did not even have to do a single presentation for the patent that we all had applied for. We applied for it, we got it. I was very surprised. My team was very surprised when we received it without any further application or any further information. So if you have any questions, we would be very happy to address them. But this story was very recent and I was really, really blown away. I keep presenting. I have removed that slide from my presentation, but I always present about toxoplasma. Just to think that I was able to apply it in real life immediately was just something else.
The receipt of the patent is an endorsement that it's a one of its kind thinking.
The government of India awarded this obviously because it is without medications, it is without supplements, it is using basic things. We just want people to live like how humans have evolved to live, just like our ancestors, and nothing else. So if you have any questions, we would also love to hear about what action all of you would be taking, because this is an action oriented webinar. We don't want people to just come here and sit and do nothing about it. We absolutely want people to take action. We want people to post on your social media about this. If you think this is life changing, take a screenshot, post it on your group, post it on your social media, let other people know. And when I hear from people that, oh, I'm busy, that's why I couldn't attend your webinar. Well, we have been doing this webinar for at least 4 years, if not more. There were so many multiple opportunities. If you cannot prioritize your health, I don't know what to say. There is nothing more important in the whole world than your health. If you want any information, or if you think that whatever we said needs to be backed by anything scientific, if you want publications for that, if you want proof for that, we are more than happy to provide it, to see why we say what we say, why we do what we do. The program is a very extensive 3-month program where there is hand holding. We monitor people every single day on WhatsApp. It includes a personalized diet. It has 4 consultations with a nutritionist, with myself for the microbiome, with a mental health expert, and with a fitness expert. And then we tailor the program. We send videos every single week, the short videos about very novel things about the microbiome, where you learn some very different aspects and you take action. There's an action item that is very simple at the end of it. And then the charges are 14,750 for including GST. And this is a very comprehensive program where you change, or where you work on your entire lifestyle, including exercise, including diet. We want you to eat many more types of things, not restrict yourselves to some very few things that you want. We want you to get rid of inflammation. We want you to start exercising using enjoyable things that you can do. It's not just the same video that we are sending to everyone, whether you can do it or not. It is something that you should be able to do. We will advise you to do changes to have a much more diverse microbiome based on what you are currently doing. We will ask very easy changes. We will include habit formation. And we also have deep healing sessions every Saturday. Every week, we send one deep healing session with one topic, like anger management, like stress relief, like inner voice, how we talk to ourselves, how we have work on our relationships. There are many different issues to work on. So we do that. And we have meditations also. The same topic will be used in a very amazing meditation that we'll provide. It's just a 10-minute meditation that we develop in-house. All of this is provided. You're monitored every single day to see whether you are actually doing it, what are the problems you have. So this is included in the program. This was the program I talked about for the people, the success stories that we showed, the Shatayushi Total Transformation Program. So all of you who are here, do get in touch, to take advantage of whatever bonuses we have offered. Do schedule your free consultation to figure out what is it that you need to do? What is the action that you need to take right now? Can you do it yourself? Do you need our help? If you clearly do not need help, we are not going to ask you to take our help at all. But if you do need that, we will tell you exactly what you need to do. So this is something from our side. I'm going to stop recording. If you have any more questions, you can let us know. Get in touch with us. All right. So if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to stop